Most guys think attraction is all about looks, money, or smooth lines. But that's not the full picture. The truth is, women are far more responsive to psychological cues than most men realize. You can have average looks, a regular job, and still make a woman think about you constantly, if you understand how to trigger the right switches in her mind. Attraction isn't random. It's not luck. It's not some magic that happens when the stars align. It's driven by emotion, perception, and subtle influence. And when you learn how to use certain psychological triggers, you can flip the dynamic completely. You stop chasing, and women start paying attention. They lean in, they get curious, and eventually, they can't stop thinking about you. Now, this isn't about manipulation or trickery. It's about awareness. It's about knowing what actually grabs a woman's emotional attention and makes her feel something she doesn't feel with most guys. Because let's face it, most guys blend in. They follow the same script, and women are bored of it. What we're talking about here is a smarter approach. It's subtle, it's powerful, and once you understand how it works, you'll never look at dating or attraction the same way again. This isn't about trying harder, it's about knowing better. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, glad to have you. If you've been around for a while, you already know we keep it simple, real, and practical. In today's video, we're breaking down 7 female psychological tricks that, when used the right way, can make a woman seriously obsessed with you. We're not talking about pickup lines or weird routines. These are psychological triggers based on how attraction actually works for women. What pulls them in, what keeps them hooked, and what makes you stand out without even trying too hard. So if you're ready to understand what most men never figure out, you're in the right place. 1. The power of unpredictability. One of the fastest ways to grab and keep a woman's attention is by being unpredictable. Not in a chaotic or confusing way, but in a way that keeps things interesting. When she doesn't always know what to expect from you, her mind stays engaged. She thinks about you more. She wonders what you'll say or do next. That curiosity, it's addictive. Now, a lot of guys fall into this pattern of being way too predictable. They text at the same time every day. They talk about the same stuff. They stick to the same routine. It feels safe, but it also gets boring fast. When everything becomes expected, there's nothing left for her to figure out, nothing exciting to anticipate. Think about how most guys handle texting. They're always quick to reply, always available, always eager. It might seem like the right thing to do, but it makes you feel overly familiar, like a guy she's already figured out. And once that happens, the emotional spark starts to fade. Unpredictability changes that. It makes her pay closer attention. Maybe one day you send her a voice note instead of a regular text. Maybe you switch up the tone, sometimes playful, sometimes serious. Maybe you take a little longer to respond, not to play games, but because you're not glued to your phone. It shows that you've got your own rhythm, your own life, and that's attractive. There was this guy who met a woman through mutual friends. First few conversations were casual and fun, but he didn't act like he was trying to win her over. He'd show interest, then pull back a little. Sometimes he'd text her first, other times he'd wait. When they hung out, he'd mix it up. One night they'd grab drinks, the next time he'd take her to a bookstore. He'd crack jokes one moment, then shift into a deeper conversation without warning. She never quite knew what was coming, and that kept her thinking about him when he wasn't around. The key is balance. You don't want to be random or hard to follow. You want to be dynamic, keep her on her toes just enough that she stays mentally and emotionally engaged. That's where the obsession starts. Not because you're trying too hard, but because you've created space for her curiosity to grow. Predictability feels safe, but it rarely excites. Unpredictability adds edge. And when a woman feels like there's more to discover about you, she'll keep coming back for more. 2. Creating emotional contrast. If you want a woman to get hooked on you, you need to create emotional contrast. This means taking her through a range of feelings when she's around you. Playful, serious, calm, excited. That shift in energy creates something memorable. When a woman experiences different emotions with a guy, she starts to associate him with intensity, depth, and connection. Even if the conversations are casual, most guys stick to one emotional tone. Maybe they're funny and lighthearted, and that's all they show. Or they're calm and laid back, but they never push into anything deeper. The problem is, When you stay stuck in one emotional gear, she quickly labels you. He's the funny guy. He's chill, but I don't feel anything intense with him. And once she puts you in that mental box, it's hard to break out. Creating emotional contrast pulls you out of that. One moment you can joke around and tease her, the next you shift into something more grounded. Maybe you open up a little, share a real opinion, or talk about something meaningful. That back and forth movement is what keeps her emotionally engaged. It makes her feel like there's more to you than what's on the surface. This doesn't mean being moody or fake. You're not pretending to be something you're not. You're just letting different sides of your personality show. Women respond strongly to this because it mirrors the emotional complexity they feel. When you create those shifts in the interaction, it builds a stronger connection. She starts to feel like she's experiencing you, not just talking to you. It's also about keeping the emotional tone from going flat. If everything is smooth and predictable, there's no spike in how she feels. And if there's no emotional spike, there's nothing for her brain to hold on to. Emotions create memory. When she laughs hard one minute, then finds herself caught off guard by a deeper moment the next, that stays with her. That's the stuff she thinks about later when she's alone. A lot of guys avoid emotional contrast because they don't want to rock the boat. They want everything to feel safe and easy. But safe and easy doesn't spark deep interest. It doesn't make a woman feel something powerful. You have to be willing to switch gears, bring some fun, bring some depth, challenge her a little, then make her laugh again. That's what creates the kind of connection she can't stop thinking about. 3. Show that you have standards. One of the most attractive things a man can do is show that he has standards. And not just for relationships, but for everything. How you carry yourself, how you spend your time, how you respond to people. These things send strong signals. And women pick up on them fast. A lot of guys fall into the trap of trying to impress women by being overly agreeable. They nod along to everything she says. They laugh at jokes that aren't funny. They go with the flow, even when they don't really want to. They think this makes them more likable, but what it actually does is make them look passive and easy to win over. When a woman feels like she doesn't have to earn your interest, it lowers your value in her eyes. She might like the attention at first, but over time, it becomes less exciting. On the other hand, when she sees that you don't just say yes to everything, that you have your own boundaries, your own opinions, and your own pace, that changes how she sees you. Having standards doesn't mean being harsh or judgmental. It means you're not afraid to walk away from something that doesn't align with you. You don't chase just because she's attractive. You're not impressed by every little thing. You listen, you observe, and you make decisions based on what you want, not just what she expects. Women respect men who respect themselves. When you set the tone, they follow it. If you're clear about how you want to be treated, what kind of energy you'll allow, and what kind of behavior turns you off, it sends a message. You're not desperate for attention. You're selective. And that's powerful. It also creates a sense of challenge. Not in a childish way, but in a way that makes her step up. She wants to be seen as someone who meets your standard, not just someone who can easily get your time or interest. That subtle shift in dynamic makes her more invested. She starts to care more about how she shows up around you, and that's when real attraction starts to build. So ask yourself, do you have standards, or do you just go with whatever happens? Are you being intentional about who you give your energy to? If you're not, you're leaving value on the table. The moment you show a woman that you won't just say yes to anything, or anyone, is the moment she starts looking at you differently. That's when you stop being just another guy and start becoming someone worth pursuing. 4. Make her feel seen, not just complimented. Most guys think giving a woman compliments is the way to win her over. And sure, compliments feel good. Everyone likes being appreciated. But if all you're doing is telling her she's pretty or hot, you're not really standing out. You're just doing what every other guy does. What makes a real impact is making her feel seen. That means paying attention to the little things that other guys overlook. It's not about flattery. It's about awareness. When a woman feels like you actually notice who she is beyond her looks, that sticks with her. Here's the difference. Telling her she has nice eyes is a compliment. Noticing the way she lights up when she talks about something she cares about, that's making her feel seen. One is surface level. The other makes her feel understood. Most men stay at surface level because it's easier. They comment on her looks, her outfit, maybe her voice. But women hear that all the time. What they rarely hear is someone recognizing something unique about their energy, their vibe, the way they think. When you do that, it hits different. It cuts through the noise. You don't have to go deep every time you talk to her. But when you do give her attention, make it personal. Be specific. Show her that you actually listen, that you're not just reacting to what she looks like. You're connecting to how she makes you feel. That kind of attention builds attraction in a way most men don't even understand. It also builds trust. When a woman feels seen, she naturally wants to open up more. She feels more comfortable around you. She lowers her guard. That's when the connection starts to shift from casual to meaningful. And when she feels that deeper connection, she starts to crave it. This doesn't take any special skill. You just have to slow down and pay attention. Watch how she carries herself. Listen to what she says and how she says it. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Tune in. Respond to the person, not just the appearance. It's easy to throw out compliments. It takes more effort to make someone feel seen. But that effort is what makes you different. It's what makes you memorable. Because when you show a woman that you see her in a way others don't, she won't forget it. She'll keep coming back to that feeling. And to you. 5. Stay calm under pressure. One of the most attractive traits a man can show is calmness, especially when things don't go as planned. Life throws stuff at you. Stress, delays, awkward moments, unexpected tension. How you react in those moments says a lot about who you are. And women notice. When you stay calm under pressure, it signals control. It shows confidence without you having to say anything. It tells her that you're not easily shaken, that you can handle yourself. And more importantly, that you can handle situations with her, no matter what's happening around you. Think about when plans fall through. Maybe you were supposed to meet someone for dinner, and the place ends up closed. Most guys would start scrambling, getting frustrated, trying to fix things quickly. But imagine a guy who just shrugs, laughs it off, and says, "All right, let's figure something else out." That calm energy shifts the entire vibe. Suddenly, what could have been a stressful moment turns into something light and easy. That's the kind of energy people want to be around. It's not just about big moments either. Even small things, like waiting too long for food at a restaurant, dealing with someone rude, or being stuck in traffic, can reveal how grounded you are. If you stay cool and collected, it creates a sense of stability. And stability is attractive. Women feel more secure around a guy who doesn't get thrown off easily. It's not just physical safety, it's emotional safety too. When she sees that you're not reactive, that you don't panic, and that you don't take things personally, it puts her at ease. She feels like she can relax around you. This doesn't mean you have to be emotionless or passive. You're allowed to feel things. The point is, you don't let those emotions control you. You stay in charge of your energy. You move with intention. You respond, not react. That kind of calm presence also makes you stand out. In a world where people are constantly stressed, distracted, or overstimulated, being grounded is rare. When a woman meets a guy who isn't easily rattled, it catches her attention. She may not be able to fully explain why, but she'll feel it. So the next time something doesn't go smoothly, pay attention to how you respond. Stay relaxed. Breathe. Keep your tone steady. When you show that you're in control of yourself, everything else starts to fall into place. And she'll remember how she felt in your presence. Steady, safe, and drawn in. 6. Be comfortable with silence. Most guys feel the need to constantly keep the conversation going. They panic when there's a pause. They rush to fill every quiet moment with something, anything, to avoid things getting awkward. But here's the thing. Silence isn't a problem. In fact, when used the right way, it can actually build attraction. Being comfortable with silence shows confidence. It means you're not nervous. You're not desperate for approval. You're not trying to impress. You're just there, relaxed, at ease. And that's powerful. It creates a sense of presence. A calm energy that says, "I don't need to force anything." Women pick up on that. When you're okay with silence, they feel it. It gives the interaction space to breathe. It lets tension build in a good way. You're not crowding the moment with words. You're letting the connection speak for itself. On the flip side, when you can't handle silence, it sends a message that you're uncomfortable or insecure. Constant talking can feel like overcompensation. It can even come across as nervous energy, which breaks the vibe. Attraction isn't built through nonstop chatter. It's built through energy, timing, and the way you make her feel in your presence. Silence also gives you time to observe. You can actually listen, take in her body language, her tone, her reactions. You're more tuned in. And when you do speak, your words carry more weight. You're not just talking to fill space, you're communicating with intention. Another thing silence does is create curiosity. When you're not always explaining yourself or reacting right away, you become a little more mysterious. She starts wondering what you're thinking. That slight unpredictability draws her in. It's not about playing games. It's about not always giving everything away immediately. Being comfortable with silence doesn't mean being cold or distant. You're still engaged. You're still present. But you're not rushing. You're okay with letting things unfold at their own pace. That calm, quiet confidence says a lot more than words ever could. Most importantly, it makes her feel something. When she can sit in silence with you, and it feels good, not awkward or forced, that's when real connection starts to build. It's rare, and when it happens, it stands out. So don't stress about every pause. Don't feel like you need to fill every second with conversation. Let there be space. Let her come toward you. When you're at ease with the quiet moments, it shows strength, and it draws her in without you having to say a word. 7. Stop seeking her validation. One of the biggest things that kills attraction, fast, is constantly seeking a woman's approval. And a lot of guys do this without even realizing it. They shape their words, their actions, even their personalities around what they think will make her like them. They're always checking her reactions, looking for some kind of signal that they're doing the right thing. It comes off as needy, even if that's not the intention. Here's the truth. If you're trying to get a woman to like you more than you're focused on being the kind of man you respect, you're already off track. The more you try to win her over, the more you give up your own value. And the more you chase her approval, the less she feels drawn to you. Women aren't attracted to men who look to them for a sense of worth. They're attracted to men who already know their worth and act like it. That doesn't mean being arrogant or acting like you don't care. It means being grounded, knowing who you are, being okay with not always getting a certain reaction. Because here's the thing, attraction doesn't grow from being perfect. It grows from being real and standing solid in who you are. This is where some guys need to wake up. You might not realize how often you adjust your behavior just to get a positive response. Maybe you avoid disagreeing with her. Maybe you overtext because you want her to stay interested. Maybe you try too hard to come off as cool, successful, or smooth. All of that is rooted in the same thing, trying to earn her validation instead of acting from a place of self-respect. If you want to be the kind of man women are naturally drawn to, you need to stop waiting for approval and start living like someone who doesn't need it. Speak your mind. Set your boundaries. Say no when something doesn't feel right. Let her see that you're not afraid to walk away if the energy isn't right. That's not cold. That's confident. That's leadership. Attraction happens when she feels your strength without you having to show off. When she sees that your mood doesn't rise or fall based on her response. That's what gives you presence. That's what creates that pull she can't quite explain. So take a look at how you've been showing up. Are you looking for validation or living by your own standard? Are you trying to be liked or being someone worth respecting? This shift in mindset changes everything. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop performing and start leading. And when you move like that, she doesn't just like you, she feels you. At the end of the day, attraction isn't about chasing, impressing, or playing games. It's about understanding how to carry yourself in a way that naturally pulls women in. And the truth is, women aren't obsessed with nice guys. They're obsessed with men who know who they are and move with purpose. That's what creates real presence. That's what sticks in her mind long after you're gone. The things we talked about here aren't complicated, but they do require awareness. They require you to be honest with yourself. Are you showing up as a man with standards? Are you staying calm, grounded and confident when it counts? Are you building emotional connection or just reacting to whatever comes your way? These aren't tricks. They're ways of thinking and acting that set you apart from the crowd. Most men never take the time to understand this. You do, and that already puts you ahead. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Which of these points hit the hardest for you? Have you ever noticed any of these working or backfiring in your own experiences? Drop it in the comments. I'll be down there reading and replying. This isn't just about throwing advice out there. It's about building a space where we can actually learn and level up together. If you found value in this, stick around. There's more coming. But for now, think about what you just heard. And more importantly, start living it.